Our boys Mitch Marner heading to the Maple Leafs. Sorry, Mitch Marner leaving the Maple Leafs and heading to the Vegas Golden Knights. It's like, gotcha.
Told you, they got him, right?
That day, that's why Toronto's still crying. They're like, they're tampering. They got us. Like he wasn't gonna leave anyways, right?
Yeah.
You stood no chance.
Dog's been leaving since February. Right?
Yeah.
Toronto's smart for calling it the tampering out though, because the league apparently was gonna hammer somebody, whoever they caught tampering first. They're gonna make an example out of them, and that was so smart to do it against them because then they got a piece out of it. They got Nick Roy out of it, who's not a crazy piece, but it's still a center, and that's huge.
Let's be real, SB. Vegas was never going to get caught, right? The only team that was going to get caught was Vancouver, Edmonton, any other Canadian team.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe even like Seattle.
Like what they're doing with the Vander Kane and the long-term IR, right?
Yeah. Now
Florida and Vegas is doing that for what?
Years.
5 years now.
I mean, they're still doing it. Petrangelo all of a sudden out of it. There's another year out, and then I'll be back.
Chicago did it back in the day too.
Yeah, Chicago.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the jerseys give me pimples and my acne's acting up. Oh, now all of a sudden.
The funniest thing is Edmonton didn't even win. Right? It's like Jesus Christ, let them sulk in their misery. On top of it, it's like we're gonna investigate you guys. But like you're saying, Jets, I agree. Canada team, they're gonna have to do it.
Nope.
Yeah. I wonder what the Vegas Golden Knights are going to look like with Mitch Marner on their team now, because you have Eichel, you have Marner. We were talking about how when they lost in the Stanley Cup playoffs, how they needed to kind of retool and change things up, because a lot of the guys looked old and they had like no secondary, and slow, and it just seemed like the whole offense, the whole team was running through Eichel, and everybody else was just trigger man for them, from like Doriev to like Barbashev, all these players. Now you have Marner who could pass the puck, score too. So you got two of these players.
That's a Vegas like kind of downfall whenever it comes to them. They always go in on these current guys that are good now, right? And then like in a few years they get old and they're washed. Like Stone. Like Stone was a great pickup when they got him. Yeah. And he's kind of slowly, you see the decline.
But by when that happens, you know that he's going to be gone anyway.
Yeah, he's going to be gone.
Vegas ruthless.
Even the guys that they got, like Hurdle, like it's not like he's great.
Yeah, he hasn't been great for them.
Like it's kind of been. He's also on decline, and like they give up their future for these current players, and then they're scrambling to get new players because they gotta give away more draft picks and get more current players that would probably help them win now.
I'm okay with that. If you're a Knights fan, you already have a cup, right? Yeah. This is a different model of winning, right? Like you're always in on the big players. Like when Pietrangelo was a free agent, they went there. They're always going to be on these big names regardless for the rest of their franchise. So they're never going to be a team that's going to be bottoming them out in the standings. So I think that's going to always be a destination for these guys. For sure. That's why you have guys like Rasmus Andersson. So you know how we're talking about tampering? I feel like Rasmus Andersson is one of those guys. They got to be a little more tampering there. There's no way. Why is he saying, "Oh, I'm not going to sign with anybody other than them"? Like, how is that happening all of a sudden? Like all season long, he's like, "I want to play with Calgary." Now he's like, "I'll go with Vegas only." So he plays all extension.
You're right. So egregious to say the least.
It's insane. It's NBA level. It's like LeBron James and his agency out here working in there. All of a sudden.
Except it's just Eichel getting sent on a private jet to go recruit these players.
Pretty much.
In terms of the move, I like the move. Like you're saying, Sertac Marner and Eichel, that's a nice one too. Some of these other guys, Razak, I agree. I don't like the Hurdle move. I didn't like some of these other ones. But they're going to fall into place right now. They have these dynamic duo. You mentioned Rasmus Andersson, that is. They're going to have to shore up the deep core because apparently Pietrangelo is done for the rest of his career, right? I thought he was going to make Team Canada. They said, no chance of that. But yeah, I'm assuming Anderson or someone else. They've been in on another defenseman too.
Bo Byram.
Yeah.
Apparently he's one of the guys there. He's a RFA, so they could actually still sign him too. $8.8 million on long-time injured reserved. I mean, they have one more year to pull this stuff off because then the what do you call it, CBA comes in, and now you can't like all your the cap still counts for the playoffs, something like that, right? Yeah. You had to be cap compliant for the playoffs. Moving forward,
which it should have been since day one.
Yeah, should have been the thing.
Yeah.
So you think this year Vegas and Florida, some of these cap finessers are going to be going next level? They're going to have
UFAs. Any smart team that's been doing it before is already going to do it, and they're going to be like, "This is my final chance," and we do it again, and then we're done. We're done.
I think those are the only two teams that, and maybe Tampa Bay, that do it properly. Like they get away with that kind of like scheming stuff.
Yeah,
scheming shit, right?
You
do it now too, just going your guys' point, and then because the caps can go up again next year as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you do it once now, caps going anyways. Oh, look, you're gonna be healthy now.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you're good.
I wonder if teams will still even have to do like after this next season, because the cap's going up, like you said, Jati. And the longest time, a lot of teams were pulling this stuff off because the cap wasn't going up, right? Like, okay, Chicago got away with it because of the the Hossa was on LTIR, but that didn't really affect them because they weren't even a cup contender, and that just gave them like a chance to maybe put together a decent team, and it really worked out in their favor.
100%.
But Vegas and Tampa Bay and all these teams were taking advantage of it. Even Florida this year with the way they did with Kachuk, and he was like, "Oh, I'm ready to go. I've been ready to go for weeks."
Right. Yeah.
And then they got Marshawn and Seth Jones on the team.
And Lord forbid, Evander Kane said he's ready to go after his surgery. Right.
Like, hey, buddy, are you sure?
Yeah. No, hockey's not a Canadian sport. We're just gonna go down south with this $20 tickets with all these Southern Southwell teams. I'm kind of envious because I don't understand how an NHL player would look at Vegas as a free agent destination. Like, I get it from the point of view, like, you can relax and no one's gonna care.
Yeah,
but it's not a traditional hockey market at all.
No.
Right?
If you're a competitor, like, do you really want to go there? Like, nobody really cares.
Like they're all about winning, right?
Right.
And you're a player, you want to win,
right?
You want to go a place that's gonna be a winner. Right?
There's a lot there too, and it's obviously like a destination city too, right? A lot of people are going there. It's sunny. The tax break and all that stuff plays to your advantage. Outside of like them not having a real hockey market, I think a lot of NHL players don't really care about the hockey market thing. There's some players who do. Yeah. They obviously play in Canada, but then like most of them would rather just play in Vegas. If you're American, especially too.
But on to this point, like it just seems like people like don't care anymore, like about like being the first guy to help a Canadian team win a cup.
No.
Like you'd be set for life. Like 100%. You know how we talk about Kawhi Leonard on Toronto, like they were like making him all this deals just for him to stay after that year. They won chip. Imagine now you helping us an NHL Canadian team win a Stanley Cup. You're set for life. They're paying your house. Yeah. They're paying your kids.
You're not eating anything. Yeah.
You're set. You're not buying anything.
No, we've been talking about this. Look at Trevor Linden. Trevor Linden over here. He'll play. You'll know he'll play.
Patch Linden up and get him in that one. He will play. You know he'll play. He'll play on crutches. He will play, and he'll play at Madison Square Garden.
And now he's got Club 16 franchise for the rest of his life.
We paid him to go now.
Yeah, and we didn't even win all those years ago. Like, I agree with you. We've been saying it for a while that anyone who wins in Canada is going to be like the glorified beyond belief, right? Why would you not go for that? Take a chance and play in a meaningful market instead of going down south.
Speaking of playing in a Canadian market, Toronto Maple Leafs, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They brought your boy back, JP. John Tavares. Pull the jersey out. Pull the jersey out. Whip that thing out. There it is. It's going into the rafters, you know, at this point. He signed a 4-year, $4.38 million deal?
Not a bad deal.
Oh, he's definitely going to rafters. You're right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, and then they got Nick Roy, too, so they got 3 centers up the middle. I mean, I don't think the roster's better than last year's. Obviously, with Bob Marner, you don't really fill that hole. It's hard to do.
I've seen some rumors about they might get the boy back, Kadri. But Calgary might be trading Kadri. There's a couple of teams that are interested in Kadri. And what's weird with Calgary, all of a sudden they're trading all their players. What is this like when you could have got a lottery pick?
Calgary can still make a fortune because there are a lot of teams that didn't hit a home run during free agency that had a lot of cap space and thought they would. Right now, it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure how you guys feel. It doesn't seem like there are really any clear sellers. Calgary should be a seller. Yeah. But who knows? Maybe they're going to.
But again, they don't have that many things to give up.
Expendables ain't never going to give up.
But like going back on Raj's point, or even like for the Leafs, for example, right? Like with the cap going up and everything like that, you've seen more teams re-sign their players. Florida got all 3 of them back, right? And one of the players that the Leafs were targeting was Marchand. So them not going there, I think they kind of had they're going to look for a trade, anything. Then the Kadri might be that perfect person because he kind of has like that Marchand kind of type of player.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd also be looking, if I'm a contender, at like players on Nashville. If they start off slow again, you get like Marchessault. He's on a decent contract.
I think Canucks, for example, Jim Rutherford said a lot of the trades that you're going to be making, you're probably going to start with your roster that you have now. That's what he said about the Canucks. And then in the season, you're probably going to be able to make trades. Because then a lot of these teams that think they have a chance to do something, they're going to find out really quickly that they don't really have a chance at all. And some teams are dumb enough to be like, yeah, we do have a chance to stick around. And like Calgary last year, the Canucks did last year, like a lot of these teams. And then, but there's gonna be for sure teams that are like, okay, we figured out what we have. Like Nashville, I feel they still think that this old core group they have can compete for whatever reason, right? Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they'll figure out early in the season that they don't have.
I was gonna say I think Toronto might become one of those teams with the roster they have. It's not like a great roster. They lost a 100-point player. Their defense is like who they got on defense more.
They didn't improve it. It's the same defense last year.
They have like old heads, like, and they're thinking about like they got two guys that probably have to do the whole carry job. They have to be like Leon and fucking McDavid the entire season. But with Austin Matthews, I don't know if he's 100% healthy, if he's going to be in. Same with William Nylander. You know, him and Austin Matthews are always in and out of the lineup. So it's like you got to make some moves to at least get some good players now.
I think they're definitely going to make some moves. They're hoping Ekblad was available. Maybe that's how they're going to show up the decor.
Yeah.
You know what move? Maybe if not them, someone else. You're talking about Nashville. So I agree. They added someone a few weeks ago that indicated that they're going to go all in again.
Who did they sign like a few weeks ago?
But it was like a win now signing, like you're saying.
Yeah.
If they start off slow, a name that I think could be a game changer, Roman Yossi.
If they could pull him off, it's gonna be hard though because I think that Nashville's gonna be like he's the last guy we'll trade.
But he's like 35 now, right? So Taj, like for some reason they're running it back. We don't know why they're running it back. Maybe they'll make the playoffs and go on a hero run.
Yeah,
maybe they're thinking they're 2019 St. Louis. Highly unlikely with some of their old geezers on their team, but I think an opportunity would be available to go after a piece like that. Even Edmonton, if you can flip Darnell Nurse, the money.
Yeah.
With Yossi, obviously it's like a Hail Mary here.
They need someone like that. They need someone like Toronto definitely needs better defensemen. They definitely need a better bottom six because like every single time it gets down to the bottom six, they got nobody.
And they still need goaltending too.
They still need goaltending. You actually know what Leafs fans are always gonna say. Stolarz are great.
I think the biggest concern though is like all this talk about Austin Matthews. People are saying that he lost his shot. Like he's got all these injuries. He can't let it fly like he used to. And they're gonna need him to do all that this year more than ever because it's him and Nylander. If you think about it,
who knows? The puck now?
Yeah, and who knows about Tavares too, right? Who knows if Tavares can actually even come close to what he did last season? Like he's another year older. I mean, the guy was never the strongest skater. He's 34 years old. He's probably gonna turn 35 next year. Like, there's no sign of him going back to being 40 goal scorer next year.
But they got him a good deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's a deal that even by he's like 37, 38, that doesn't matter. 4 years.
Yeah.
Like the percentage of that cap is gonna be nothing.
He's gonna be like solid third line center by then.
That's interesting though. You brought up Marner, Sartaj, and now he's gone in the production, and Matthews now he has to step up. The other thing's gonna be the scrutiny because Marner was a whipping boy for how many years now in Toronto, and like you're saying, they're kind of thin up front. He's gonna have to produce at least at a point per game clip, if not better.
Sure.
And
especially in the playoffs.
Spotlight's all on them now. Like there's nobody to shield them. Like, especially Austin Matthews. Like if he like does what he did last year and he like ducks half the season and they don't even make the playoffs, like everybody's gonna start shitting on him. Like, oh, you really need. And then all those Leaf fans are gonna be wrong because then they're gonna realize Marner was the engine that kept it going.
I think they have Nylander, right? Come on.
Yeah, Nylander. Hey, Nylander's a killer though. He's good. I think Toronto still has is that team that can make it still through the regular season because they're a regular season team.
Yeah.
It's just the playoffs. I don't think they're not good enough to even get past the first round, even win a game. Maybe who knows? They might get swept by like Tampa Bay or Florida. That's what they're gonna play in the first round.
Ottawa's gone a little bit better.
Yeah.
And, I think
Montreal's gonna have a chance to be better next year. So
they're probably in one of the toughest divisions. Besides maybe Boston.
For sure.
Well, I have nothing to that. You guys shut me down real quick.
But I was gonna say, for Zach, going to your point that who's gonna be sellers, and this is the year that you want to be a seller right off the bat, right? So you can get a better draft percentage to get McKinnon, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Like if you're one of those teams that are like the Calgarys and like the Bostons, even Pittsburgh, like Pittsburgh and San Jose and like Chicago, these teams are going to be in the top bottom five, right?
Yeah.
So if you're already them, if you're one of the contender teams like the Canucks or something, ask one of those teams, see what you can get from them.
Damn, you said Canucks in a contender team?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that video. But you know what, Jitty? So what do you think? Toronto's going to sign Erik Karlsson and Chris Letang as their defenseman? You think that's probably the only?
Those guys aren't going to help the blue line either. Like,
that's what I mean. Like that's 37-year-old
bargain basement.
At this point, they're just bargain. They're hunting for that bargain deal, and they're not going to get anything out of it.
They're going to have to hope that somebody's willing to get if they can land a Roman Yossi, that's huge. It's a game changer for them. Well, that does it though.
Say, hold up. Wait a minute.
You know what? That does it though. There you go. If you got something to say, you got to say it.
No, I was gonna say like, what does Toronto can actually give up now? Though they're like no first round picks.
That's what I was thinking.
There's something.
Like Matthew Nye is like the young guy that they're gonna have to keep because they don't have any other young guys. The blue line just old bunch of 35-year-olds.
They have no prospects coming up. Like in the next couple of years, if Matthews doesn't resign, you actually have to like rebuild that team again.
It's gonna be hard. Well, that does it for our Toronto Maple Leafs videos. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next one.